On the 18th day of upheaval, the pro-democracy demonstrators got what they were fighting for.
President Hosni Mubarak has decided to step down as president of Egypt.
The crowds in the Liberation Square went wild, chanting, "Egypt is free, Egypt is free." Earlier today, demonstrators spread from the square to state TV and to the presidential palace. But President Mubarak is not there. A senior government official tells ABC News that he and his wife have left the capital. It's believed they are in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh.
Whether Mubarak agree or not, whether Omar Suleiman agree or not, whether the army agree or not, this will have.
Protesters were motivated today by anger and bitterness after Mubarak refused to step down last night.
Our objective is not changing the president, is not removing Hosni Mubarak and replacing him with Omar Suleiman. Our objective is changing the whole rotten regime.
The regime doesn't intimidate us, we intimidate the regime.
Outside state television, demonstrators were peaceful, celebratory, and determined. TJ Winnick, ABC News, New York.
And we are on the phone now with Sharif Akhil, who is the chairman of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee based here in Dearborn. He is also an Egyptian American. Sharif, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. How are you feeling today on this historic day with everything that's happened this morning in Egypt?
Thank you for having me. Words can't describe this momentous occasion. I mean, you can talk about jubilation and elation and satisfaction, but you cannot. What we witnessed unfold within the last 17 days is kind of a glimpse of what our founding fathers went through when they did whatever they needed to do to be free. And this is what we witness here. This is something for our children to see and to understand. This hopefully will transform the Middle East into a democracy and to be free from tyranny. It is a momentous occasion, and it's something very basic. The principle to be free, which is something we take here for granted. And people fought and risked their lives. They were willing to put their bodies in front of tanks to just taste the very thing, freedom, which we take here for granted. And it's just so important to just digest what we're witnessing right now and understand its implications.
You know, Sharif, this is really the first step. These protesters want a democracy. That's what everyone is trying for in the country. What is the next step, though, do you think? There have been some people who have said, is it possible with the military in control now to affect that democracy and to have it go in that direction? What are you anticipating seeing?
Well, one of the things that was encouraging was when a secularist, Mohammed al-Baradi, said, you know, he said that the military should take over at this time to maintain order and for an orderly transition into a democracy. You know, there was something very noticeable in the pictures that we witnessed. You saw these tanks and you saw the military. They were idle. They were mute. You saw a sense of hopeless. I mean, the power of the people was so great. Their conviction and drive to have a free society was so overwhelming. So with that will and conviction, I think the Army has heard the people loud and clear, and of course, with the goal to make arrangements to have elections and a free democracy.
Sharif, let me ask you this. Give people an idea in this country who maybe don't understand. My understanding is that the military earlier today announced that the regime's much-hated emergency laws will be lifted when the security kind of situation allows that to happen. Do you know much about these emergency laws that have been in place since 1967 and what it has meant for Egyptians?
Well, yeah, the emergency laws were very oppressive laws on the people. Political oppositions were stifled, and you had people that could be arbitrarily arrested with no due process and no right to be heard. And so you had a very oppressive regime. And what you witnessed with the Army stating that, engaging in a dialogue, and then you heard the people resisting, and they weren't satisfied. This was a dialogue, actually negotiations going on publicly between the Army and between the people. And in the end of the day, the people said enough is enough.
Well,
they realized their dream.
They certainly did. Sharif Akhil, thank you so much as we look at these live pictures over Liberation Square, aptly named, to join us and lend your insight today. Thank you very much, Sharif. Vic?
And continuing with this story, a priest in Troy has lots of family in Egypt, and he's taking time today to share his thoughts on Mubarak's decision to step down. We are live in Troy with Action News reporter Val Clark. Val, what do you got?
Well, Vic and Joanne, Father Maximus Habib has been in this country for quite a while. He is an Egyptian American, and he has family there who, I believe, Father, you told me you have had a chance to speak with them. It's 8 o'clock at night now, Friday night in Cairo. Set the scene for us. What's going on there?
What I heard from him, that people are celebrating the success, and they are so happy that whatever they asked for, they got it. Although personally have some concerns what the next step. I hope that the army will take care of the situation and keep it peaceful and safe.
We have to be concerned about that because the military has a reputation for being pretty brutal and carrying out orders of a dictator, basically.
Yes, but I think right now they are very reasonable. They are holding everything, although in a situation like this I expected they would be more harsh, but they are trying to balance the issue. But now they are the main source of security and responsibility in Egypt, and our hope and our prayer that nobody will step in from those who have other interests, more the interest of the safety, not only of Egypt, as I said yesterday, but of the Middle East and all the interests of the US and Europe in Egypt, which will affect the whole world, and the safety of Israel as a neighbor for us there.
How is your brother doing and your other relatives? What has he been able to tell you?
They are staying home. They are like my older brother. He's a doctor. He has been for almost 2 weeks at home. He went for a couple of days, and he's a surgeon. And the first day he has a surgery ready for him in the operating room, and he could not leave home, and they have to delay the surgery for almost more than 10 days. But their needs, they have their needs.
We will all be watching and waiting. Thank you very much. That's the latest here from Troy. Back to you.